Welcome to the Surfer demonstration video part 2. In this part, I will demonstrate how to open a data file, create a grid file, create a contour map, change the properties of a contour map, and save the project file. To view data in a worksheet, first go to File, Open, navigate to the folder you wish to use, select the data you wish to load, and click Open. I'm going to use tutor.ws.dat, which is located in the Samples folder. The data can now be edited in the worksheet window. To edit data, select the cell you wish to use, and enter the new data you wish. When you're done viewing and editing the data in the worksheet, close the worksheet by going to File, Close. If changes have been made, Surfer will prompt you to save the changes. I will click Yes and save the changes I just made. Surfer takes scattered data and grids it to create a grid file for use in contour maps, 3D surface maps, and several other map types. To create a grid file, go to Grid and Data. Select the data from the appropriate file and click Open. The Grid Data dialog box will open. This box allows you to choose the gridding method, the destination file, and the grid geometry. If the Grid Report checkbox is checked, Surfer will generate a grid report containing information about your data and the grid generated. For this demonstration, the default settings will be fine, so I will click OK. A dialog box will open when the gridding is complete, telling you that the gridding is complete and the location of the file. To close this dialog box, click OK. Once again, if the Grid Report checkbox was checked, a grid report will be generated and automatically opened when the gridding is complete. To close this grid report, go to File and Close. Surfer will prompt you once again to save changes to the grid report. I will click No. A contour map can now be generated based on the grid that was just created. To create a contour map, first go to Map, Contour Map, New Contour Map. Select the appropriate file from the list and click Open. I will select the tutor.ws.grid file that I just created. The contour map will now be visible in the plot window. To get a better view of the map, I will fit it to the window by going to View, Fit to Window. I will now demonstrate how to change the properties of an object. To edit the properties of the contour map, you can double-click on the map in the plot window, double-click on the name in the Object Manager's window, or go to Edit and Properties. In the Properties dialog box, you can change the properties of a map, such as the contour levels, the view, the scale, the limits of the data, and the background properties. I will start by changing the contour levels. To change the contour levels, I will click on the Levels tab in the Properties dialog box. Here you can change the contour interval, the contour line style, the fill colors, the labeling, and the hatch styles. Clicking on the level heading on the left-hand side allows you to change the minimum contour value, the maximum contour value, and the interval. I will leave the minimum and the maximum contour values at their default settings and change the interval to 10 and click OK when I'm finished. I will now change the fill color of the contours by clicking on the Fill heading in the middle of the Levels tab. The fill pattern allows you to change the way the contours are filled. either solid or by a pattern. The foreground color box allows you to change the foreground color, and the background color box allows you to change the background color. The background color will only be visible if a fill pattern is selected instead of being solid filled. In the foreground color box, you can select a new color you wish to use, or more than one color can be used to create a color spectrum. To insert a color node at the top, hold down the Control key on the keyboard and click on the position where you wish the node to be. To delete a node, select the node and press the Delete key on the keyboard. To move a node, select the node and drag it to the left or to the right. I'm going to create a 3-color spectrum, going from blue to green to red. I will do this by clicking on the first node and selecting blue, clicking on the second node, selecting green, and clicking on the third node and selecting red. I will click OK when finished, and then click OK again on the fill box. I will now click on the General tab and turn Fill Contours on by checking the checkbox next to Fill Contours. I will then click Apply to show these changes and move the Properties dialog box out of the way. I will now change the scale properties by selecting the Scale tab. You have options to change the scale of both the X and Y axis. The Z-axis scale can be changed if the map is a wireframe map or a surface map. To change the scale, click on the number in the X scale box and type in the new number you wish to use. I will use 2. If the proportional XY scaling box is checked, the Y-axis will be updated automatically. I will click Apply and OK to make all these changes. I will now demonstrate how to save a file. First, go to File and Save. Select the location where you wish to save the file and type in the file name. I will save the file as surferpart2.srf. Then click Save when done. This concludes Part 2 of the Surfer demonstration videos. Part 3 will demonstrate modifying contour labels, creating post maps, and overlaying maps.